Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing a how to build video on the brand new Transcendent barn. If you saw my summoning video yesterday, you see that I had to go 900 to get one copy of him, which is pretty standard for me, and which is what I was actually expecting, and 1/6 barn is fine for me because he isn't the best anyways. So, first thing we do is we always look at stats. His crit defense is okay. His crit resistance is on a little bit of the lower side. I'm pretty sure it's like 10% lower than Melee's. Lifesteal's decently low for Barn. Resistance and Pierce are pretty average with new characters nowadays. That's not too bad. Regen rate doesn't matter. Recovery rate is decent anyway. Lifesteal's very low, but I do know you can get outfits from that boosts it. But that crit damage, so currently he's running HTB defense. I'll show you that in a second. But 231 is very good for base with no weapons. Currently one out of 5 weapons. He hasn't actually had his 5th weapon release yet, but 231 very good. I think it's because he is a crit based character, and that has something to do with his passive anyway. Onto his card, so he's a brand new debuff. So firstly, he inflicts pierce damage equal to 180% attack on one enemy. Pardon me. And then applies Marker Concentration for 2 turns, which is Marker Concentration, which is lowers crit chance by 100% for 2 turns. Of course, this can actually be pretty useful debuff, as in just in terms of if you're not, even if you're not gonna use it with how it's intended, you can then use it to lower people's stats, which is pretty good, especially against like melee, especially against Purgatory melee. The old one it won't really affect. Goddess team won't really affect. Just mainly Purgatory melee. It'll definitely affect him quite a bit, especially if he's got the buff already. He'll then have negative 50% crit chance, which means he'll crit less. Of course, he will still do decent damage because he will have pretty high attack, but he won't crit, which is the main part of melees that he wants to crit. Which is this a pretty good counter? Of course, the actual effect doesn't increase, but the damage goes up. It is a single target, unfortunately, but of course, not too bad. So this is also a brand new card. It's called Snipe. It's sort of like Co-Destruction, but they've just renamed it and buffed it a little bit. So Snipe, damage equal to 150% of attack on one enemy. So Snipe, 25% damage dealt per active debuff on the target, and then it stacks up to 7 times, and it also increases your crit damage by 2. This is just the effect of Snipe itself, which is pretty cool. Multipliers are decently low, but the fact that you guarantee crit, the fact that it's got this plus this, damage increase is very weird in this game. Same with damage reduction. You would think that having really high damage, like 80% damage reduction, means you take 80% less damage. It's not true because how the game calculates damage and pierce is a big big thing when it comes to damage reduction and being attacked. But yeah, as you can see, this is a pretty powerful card. Of course, if he crits, because he's got really high crit damage, so that means his crit damage with that card is 463 actually. It's 463 crit damage, which is very high. It's like Millum damage pretty much with this. Onto his ultimate. So his ultimate is he's the first festival to have a Power Strike AoE ultimate with a bunch of whale gobbledygook written into it as well. So, increased damage dealt on the target by 5% for each debuff applied to them. Then inflicts Power Strike damage equal to 400% of attack on all enemies. If participating in battle, the hero's attack-related stats increase by 3%, up to 9% for every attack-related stat decrease effect on them. This is affected by the passive. I'm pretty sure it's 6/6. It's 30% attack-related stat boost. So of course, the more you wail, the more powerful. This is like a passive on. This is sort of like the Ultimate 1. This is like a passive built into the Ultimate, which I kind of don't like. And then the stat decrease, which is his passive, which we'll get into in a second. Power Strike, because we know what Power Strike does. This Ultimate's okay. Of course, Power Strike itself is a very broken effect, but do I think that he would be broken at 1/6? Maybe like 3/6 and above he'd be good, because I'll show you the multipliers now actually. We're looking at this part mainly. See at 2/6, it goes up by 3%, then it goes up by another 3%. At 3/6, you get 15% attack rate stats, which is pretty big. Comparison to 9%. I know it's only a 6% increase, but 6% crit chance is quite big. Especially with the pierce rate and the crit damage and all that kind of stuff involved. And at 6/6, of course, it's 30%, because that's just how it is. Yeah, if you get it to 4/6, you're pretty set, because then 5/6 is pretty big, 6/6 is also pretty big as well. But 4/6 4 and 3-6 are probably the golden zone for a free-to-play player if you're able to pull it at 3-6. Just for the stats. Overall, the attack rate stats would be good. Of course, you do get the damage increase as well, which goes up quite a bit. But of course, 3-6, 15% is good. Because 50% increased damage dealt for each. This is for each debuff. This is not just for one, this is for each debuff. And it's any debuff as well. It's not just his debuff, it's any debuff. Which means you match that with Festival Merlin. You're looking at, like, let's say you've got 8 debuffs. You've got then 4 of his own on each of the enemies. You're looking at like a lot of damage increase. I think this could be very good, but I think with the meta, with cleansing, if he does become meta again, cleansing will definitely come back. Goddesses will definitely come back. Now onto his passive, which is the longest part. At the start of the battle, applies Extortion Zone on the hero, then increases HP related stats of the 7 Deadly Sins allies by 5% for every ally from the 7 Deadly Sins on the battlefield. In addition, the hero's skills result in critical damage when used on an enemy marked with a mark of concentration, and the effect is removed once the critical damage occurs. Mark concentration, of course, that tells us what it is, but Extortion Zone decreases the 7 Deadly Sins allies' damage taken by 20% whenever an affected ally uses a skill to deal damage on the enemy. During the ally's turn, decrease and all enemies' attack related stats by 2% up to 5 times. So you get 5 that, and it lasts for 2 turns, which is pretty big. Pretty big. So this is why I see that he has somewhat potential. I know he's currently very mid, but the fact that it just says marker concentration and it's a new debuff, meaning that a new character could have AoE marker concentration. Let's just say. It's probably not going to happen, but let's just say they get AoE marker concentration. That then makes him now more viable in terms of the long run. So okay, so you can so when you mark an enemy with it, you guarantee crit them. That even means with the ultimate as well. So if someone has an AoE marker concentration and you pop the Barn ult, it's going to be devastating because Power Strike hits really hard when you don't crit, let alone when you do crit. So that will be insane. The 20% damage reduction for Sins I also see being very useful, especially with HP related stat boost as well and the attack lower. You're looking at like Queen Diane 40% damage reduction. Bond new 20% plus the 15% HP related stats for 3 Sins on the field, plus then Melee's 20% for Melee. So Melee himself will then have 80% damage reduction, and it's not how, of course, it doesn't work like 80% damage reduction, but that's still pretty big, especially for a character that has very high lifesteal, very easy, like the ability to regain lots of HP very quickly. I think that, especially if you then mix that with then Diane's Relic, you're looking at insane damage. Which I think could be... I think Sins could be devastating. Especially with Barn. And, Barn is pretty much a support character, but it's still pretty big. Onto his gear now, which is the main part. I'm going to say HB defense. Mainly because the only way he's going to really be dealing damage is if he's able to land a crit. His crit chance is decently low. So, of course, you're mainly going to be banking on the fact of using the combo of marker concentration, then the snipe card. So I've gone for HP defense just to ensure that he's able to tank better. Mainly this is for the new arena mode, which I will have a video on next week sometime because I'm an idiot and I completed it this week without thinking of making a video on it because I'm an idiot. But HP defense, of course, I do have perfect UR gear for Barn. But HP defense is definitely the way to go. You've probably got HP defense set for Barn already, for Ragnarok Barn or for Purgatory Barn. So it's much easier. No point making attack crit. Because making attack crit would mean he would tank less, and you really want him to tank just for mainly the stats and his passive and all that kind of stuff overall. Onto outfits. Currently, you are able to get 5 outfits, mainly because you have these 2, which were the 3 outfits from a long time ago, which I have. Of course, you got these 2, which are the 2 new ones. I actually like his UR outfit. Weapons, he'll get a Hawk Pass one at some point, so that'll be there. And then he might get a Hawk Pass headgear. No, I don't think he will. Because Liz didn't get one last year. So he probably won't get one because Liz didn't get one last year. So normally the anniversary characters don't get Hawk Pass outfits. Well, that's my phone. They don't normally get Hawk Pass outfits, so do bear that in mind. So if there is an event one, for example, Bond will probably end up getting a summer outfit. Last year Liz got a summer outfit. Bond will probably also get a summer outfit. So of course if you want to get the summer outfit, go for it. It'll probably be like the normal Bond summer outfit which we normally get, which is him in a pair of shorts and he's topless. That's what we normally get. They'll probably give him some like pool noodles as a weapon, which I think would actually be pretty funny. But anyway, That's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.